Anthony Ford with Kong Armor, the world's toughest deck armor here in Burlington, Kentucky. And guess what? We've done it again. We've saved another Northern Kentucky deck system from peeling paint. Let's take a look. I'll take you guys up through here and show you guys. So this structure here, this deck, when I found it, when the family first reached out to me for help and I first met with them, you want to talk about a deck that was facing down, what we call a tear down to the frame replacement. So it had a massive peeling deck paint situation, and I don't know what kind of deck paint it was, but it was peeling everywhere. I'm going to insert some pictures in here and show you guys what that looked like. Now, also what it had, the cap rails on it, so these were shot bad. They were also not, ones that were applied were not, they were also not applied correctly. So they were cut in weird places. They were cornered wrong. It just didn't look great, right? Over here in this area, we had a rotten post down through here. So this post right here, it was completely shot, completely rotten. There was also some rot in here. So in this privacy fence here, there was also some rot. How'd we solve that, right? How'd we solve all that? Well, through a process that we call peeling deck paint, lockdown encapsulation, deck rescue painting with the world's toughest deck armor, Kong Armor, lifetime deck armor, okay? First thing we did was come in and wash the structure up really well. From there, we had the guys come in, the deck rescue painters come in, and we replaced all the rotten boards in this deck. Now, there were 6 or 7 of them, probably in the floor, I believe, okay? We replaced all the cap rails in here, and then look, we cornered them properly. We did the angles, right? We came in, we pulled this post, we dissected this privacy fence, pulled this post, and we put a brand new air dried premium pressure treated post in there that was ready to be coated immediately because it was air dried. All the deck boards the same thing, premium, severe weather pressure treated, but air dried, ready to be finished immediately, right? Once all that was done, that's when we came in with the thick build, the ultra tough, the Kong Armor, the lifetime deck armor system, and did what we call peeling deck paint lockdown encapsulation. What's super cool about Kong is it's rated and it's specified for the encapsulation of peeling deck paints without sanding, without chemical peel, without days of preparation and labor, right? It's such a high build, very thick bodied coating that, number one, it can bridge gaps. It can also pick up loose items like little pieces of loose paint. It'll suck them up and spit them and plaster them back down. Subsequent layers are applied and it smooths all that out, and you never even know that you had peeling paint. Just beautiful. From where we were with that peeling paint and all that, completely encapsulated in the thickest, toughest, meanest deck resurfacing coating known to man. We did it. Brought this structure roaring, and I mean roaring, back to life. This thing, it was on its last leg. It was done. If it wasn't for Kong, we're talking about replacement here, okay? That's tear down to the frame replacement. Now, here's the deal. We talk about how UV rays damage decks, right? Kong's super thick. The UV rays, they can't get all the way. See how high build that film is? Unlike thin residential deck paints and stains, they can't go all the way through, penetrate all the way through that thick build film to get to the adhesion layer underneath and cause damage, right? The other thing, I'm telling you why Kong's better right now. The other thing is 7 to 10 times the amount of UV blockers in here than there are in standard thin residential deck paints and stains. What's that mean? It means we get 95% of the UVA and the UVB that comes down, and we deflect it back up into the atmosphere. It's called UV block. What else? True water lock technology. This is what everybody says is boring. They don't pay attention, but I want you to look. Your fasteners. Listen, guys, Cincinnati, Northern Kentucky, Southeast Indiana, Dayton, Ohio, 80 to 85% of you have reactive fasteners, deck screws, steel nails in your deck. They'll react. So if they're not covered over and protected properly, they'll react way sooner than they should. They'll start rusting and you'll start getting board rot. That's why this deck had all the rotten boards that it had. It's imperative that you forget about thin residential deck paints and stains. You forget about that stuff and you move to a physical barrier protection for your deck immediately that will cover over your fastener entry points. I keep telling you guys this, and you guys keep falling for the trick of these guys showing you stains and sealers that will do absolutely nothing for you guys here in the tri-state. And when I mean absolutely nothing, I'm a decade into this. Kong Armor is a lifetime deck armor system. A system. It means it's more than one component. What does that mean, right? So it's coating. We have a filler that's called silverback epoxy. We also have a bunch of other deck accessories that we use and stuff to restore and encapsulate these decks, okay? But the big component that comes with Kong Armor, other than just the coating, a lifetime service promise, a locally backed lifetime service promise, and a locally backed lifetime limited warranty. I'm going to stay with these customers, the company Kong Armor. I'm going to stay with these customers now for life. Anytime that they need help, they can call our local Kong Armor dealership and get help. Annual cleanings. If they have some type of unfortunate event where this coating does fail and it needs rectified, they can get warranty, okay? 24/7, 365. They have access to the local Kong Armor deck rescue painters that can be here in their backyard very quickly to help if there is some type of problem, right? That's powerful. That's lifetime deck armor. All this other stuff that people are pushing to you guys is not, it's not going to work. Somebody has to back the coating system because decks, it's backyard life. They take on abuse, right? So somebody has to stand behind the coating system and say, hey, look, we're going to make sure that it does its job. And that's what we do here at Kong Armor. We stay with the customer. We make sure it does its job, that it protects the structure and keeps it beautiful. Look how gorgeous. Look at what we started with. Started with this old beat down structure that was on its last leg, facing down replacement, tear down to the frame replacement, 25, 30 grand. We ended up with a beautifully restored, refinished deck structure with indefinite viable life, has no expiration at this time, coated and encapsulated in the world's toughest deck armor, backed locally for life. What more did you got? What more could you guys want, right? Get your deck rescued now. Look, right here at the bottom of this video. If you live in Cincinnati, if you live in northern Kentucky, if you live in southeast Indiana, right here at the bottom of this video is a button that you can click that says get quote. Press it now. I'll come out, we'll talk to you. No sales pressure whatsoever. We'll figure out everything your deck system needs to get it saved and get it armor encapsulated, looking beautiful and gorgeous. 2 visits, you're done. No playing games, none of that stuff. Press the get quote button now. See ya.